Hi, this is Katie Kim with the Kim Group. Today we're going to talk about the SBA Emergency Economic Injury Disaster Loan Grants. And so many of you have seen, hopefully, our video on the SBA, the Payroll Protection Plan, the PPP, and how to get through those steps. So today we want to talk about the EIDL and the process and what it looks like. It used to be a process a couple weeks ago that was maybe a 3 to 4 to maybe 5 day process for some people. And now they've shortened it to be basically about a 20-minute application. So if you have not applied yet, watch this video and open up the website right next to it and follow along step by step, or watch it, open up the website, and then keep this video and play it and pause it as you're going through so you can kind of get a head start on it. So let's jump into the slides. So what are we talking about today? It's that Emergency Economic Injury Disaster Loan Grants. So what we're going to do is, as you've seen with some of our other videos during this process, is our 3-step. So looking at breathing, preparing and planning, and taking action. As we've talked about, uncharted territory, guys, so breathe. You're not in this alone. We're going to walk you through this step by step, and we're going to keep you informed on the programs that are coming available as we're finding information out about them. And just relax a little bit because some of this information's changing. So you'll see that we did post a video on the PPP plan, the SBA PPP plan, because the application changed about not even 24 hours, about 9 hours before the program went live. So if you're on our email list, you got that application before the banks even opened, as well as it was on our website, the Kim Group website, for the CARES document. So if you're not on those, please text in the comments that you want to be added, and we will definitely get you on that email list to make sure you stay informed. All right, so now we're preparing. I'm going to click through these to get them all on the screen, because what I want to definitely make sure you do is when we walk through this plan and these website pages, you're going to see that there is not a lot of information that's asked from you up front. So on one hand, breathe a sigh of relief that you can get minimal data inserted into your application, but know that more than likely this information is going to be coming as an ask to follow up to that initial application. So don't sit back and relax. Get your application in and then go to work on getting this information if you have not done so already. Okay, so this is why this slide is still kept in here. So now looking at preparing and planning for the SBA EIDL application. So if we look at, again, you can apply now, but to gather the information to submit. So this is what you need to actually submit. You need your legal business name. If you have a DBA, which is a doing business as, or if you have a trade name, you'll want to know that. You'll want to know the EIN, and you want to know the organization type. So are you an S Corp, a C Corp, an LLC, etc. And then the date of company organization. And so I want to take a stop right here from the slide, see if I can bring this over. So many states, if you would go onto Google and just literally Google corporation start date, search, and then your state. So we are in Illinois. It would bring up basically the search engine that most states have, which looks like this. This is our page in Illinois where you click search for the corporation. And then you can click through and say what kind of corporate you are, if you're an LLC or a corporation. So I'll do this real quick on the Kim Group. So if we type in the Kim Group right here into that search box and click continue, you're going to see we have a DBA, but our entity is actually the Kim Group Limited. And so you'll see right here, it's this date of incorporation. So don't let the date of company or origination stump you. Just go to the web and find it. It's all publicly published. So you'll be able to find it all there at the tip of your fingers. So get that information. Then you're looking for the gross revenues for the 12 months prior to January 31st. Now this, when I read it first, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, can't we just say the last 12 months or the calendar year? So those date ranges, as we all best understand it, is from February 1st, 2019 to January 31st, 2020. So go into your software. If you're using QuickBooks, go and run your reports for profit and loss, and then put those dates in. Then go and you can see in that same profit and loss, get your cost of goods sold. Now, if you are running this application as a property management company, all your property management expenses, so maybe you're tracking your cost of goods as your triple net, and your mortgage interest and some other expenses are outside of that triple net or the cost of goods, make sure you know that when you're submitting it, it's all those costs to provide that service or that product that your LLC is providing. So rental properties, they want to know the lost rents due to the disaster. And so I did submit a question to the SBA in regards to this. Is this current lost rents, or is this perceived lost rents? And what the SBA came back with is that it was lost revenue, lost rents as of the date you submit. So some of the people I know are waiting until probably the 5th or the 6th of this month to be able to put that in. I know others who have said, well, I already submitted and I think I'm going to lose 6 to 12 months, and they put that in there. So I believe there's going to be opportunity for clarification at that point for that information. And then other info on revenue for like faith-based entities and social service entities. Again, we're going to walk through the slides here in a second, so you'll see exactly what it's asking. Your business name, your business address, phone and email. Again, the date the corporation was established, and also it's going to talk about the date that existing ownership is in place. So if you've added some investors or if you've added some ownership, you need to know the date that the last one came in and changed the structure. So you'll need to make sure you know that. And then also the number of employees as of January 31st, 2020. Okay. The next thing we will need to talk, you'll need to get is you'll need to get this information for each investor. So as you're going through this, if you say, oh crap, I don't have the birth date, which I didn't have the birthplace for some of my investors, I had to email them. So get those emails kicked off like as you're going through this. Pause this video right now, send those emails, send those text messages to those investors and get that information. You should have most of the other stuff, in terms of as that's information you're going to need just to file their tax return to them. But I wanted to highlight in bold that birthplace and birth date may be some information you don't have. And the other thing is to note that the system only goes up to 5 investors information into it. So some people have said that they've started to do their highest majority owner in their first and then kind of work down. And some of them have said that they've put the most, credit-worthy investors in there first. Again, I believe you're going to have a follow-up to have all the investor information before the loan is made, but put the information in here that's accurate and correct. How you prioritize them is your choice, but you're only going to have 5. It's not going to let you put more than that in there into the system. So as we talk about planning, you also want to make sure that you're saving all this information, because your accountant or your CPA at the end of the year is going to, it's going to be a very interesting tax time in filing 2020. So what I'm encouraging everybody to do is save all these documents, save all your application in a like COVID-19 or a CARES Act or maybe 2020. And then under that, make a folder for each of these applications and save that information as a PDF to those files, to that folder, the files that you're actually getting the information from, so that when you get questions about this application, you can go back and look at what you've done. So for example, so what you input into those forms, such as that 12 months for the P&L, you want to make sure you can reference that when they call and ask you questions and say, well, this is where I got the data, this is what I was talking about, this is what I inputted, and go from there. And then you'll be able to also reference that as well as have the submission number towards the end. So we'll get to that in a second. So plan to sit down with all this information, and I'm going to say do 30 minutes once you have everything gathered. Honestly, it can take you like 15 to 20 if you can type really, really fast. So gather that information and then take action. So for this program here, you don't need to contact your local bank, but for the SBA PPP, you do need to contact your bank here. So just wanted to update you on that. And then also the I'm going to have to apologize. Some of my slides didn't go through with the renaming. So you'll see here it says the PPP application, and that's not the case. So I'm actually going to pause this video real quick. I'm going to update these slides so we don't show any confusion, and I'll be right back. Okay, back there. Sorry about that, guys. So definitely, again, take action, get all your documents ready, and go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click through. I took screenshots as I was going through and doing one of them for our investor clients. So what you see here on this page is the first screen that you'll come up to when you click on the link. And so you're going to choose one of these. So again, select which one best suits your business to go from there. And then the second part of the screen, you'll see that you need to review and check all of the following. So if you're unable to check all of them, you're not eligible. So then don't worry about going forward. But for most of you, you'll be able to check all that and then click continue. When you hit the next screen, it's going to ask you for the business information. So here you see that legal name, you see the trade name, your EIN or SSN for sole proprietor. The type, this is where you're going to put if you're LLC or S Corp, C Corp. Is the applicant a nonprofit organization, or is the applicant a franchise? And then here is that gross revenues for 12 months prior to the date of the disaster, which is the January 31st, 2020, and then the cost of goods. So you put that right here. And then the rental properties, again, with residential and commercial only, and then the lost rents due to that disaster. If you're a nonprofit, the cost for the 12 months prior to the date of the disaster, again, here. And then the combined annual operating expenses for 12 months prior to the date of the disaster for all secular social services provided by faith-based entities. We don't have a lot of faith-based entities as clients, so this data, as I said before, was kind of highlighted in the slides that you needed. So listing the services and compensation and provide a brief description. And then the primary business address, and it cannot be a P.O. box, so you got to have a mailing address, a postal address. Business phone and an alternate business phone, I would highly recommend putting 2 phone numbers in there just in case somebody is not able to pick up the phone for some reason, they have a backup. Here's where you'll see the business, the date the business was established. That's the website we talked about earlier on in this video. And then also the current ownership since. So this is where if you have a new investor that came in or you sold some shares, you're going to want to put that date, the date of the sale there. And then you have business activity. This is a drop-down list that basically talks about what kind of industry you're in. So for us, it'd be real estate, but there's construction, financial, professional services. And then once you select the business activity drop-down, the detailed business activity further refines that down. So for example, with real estate, the detailed business activity is property management or development. So to go from there. And then the number of employees as of January 31st, 2020. Next slide or next screen you'll go to is the business owner information. So you'll see first name, last name, their mobile phone number. And then you'll also get to see their title, their ownership percentage, their email, a social security, birth date, place of birth, citizenship, and their address. And then once you get to the bottom of this page, and actually I'm going to go back one slide because this is one that caught me off guard. When you start to fill this out, if you are a business entity that's owned by another business entity, you need to click yes, and that'll pop open another box and it asks for similar information from what you provided on the first page for the business entity. If you're not, you need to click no, because otherwise you're going to get through adding all your investors' information and then wonder why the next button at the bottom of the page is not being activated. So make sure that you check one of these radio buttons here. Okay, so we went over this information. And then down here, there's a button that says add additional owner. So you're going to keep adding this for however many owners that you have. So, if you go all the way to 5, and like I said, you're not done, that's all it's gonna max out. You're not gonna be able to do anything more. So Then you're going to go to step 3, which is your additional information. And so for us, we was no on all these questions, but you can take a second to pause this video right now and read through it if you would like. And then the next screen down is if anybody's assisted you in completing this application, whether you pay a fee for the service or not. If you did, go ahead and fill out this information, and you can say, I give permission. This checkbox is probably going to be one of the most important ones I would say not to miss. So it is, I would like to be considered for an advance of up to $10,000. This is the one where you click it to make sure that to be considered to get $10,000 put into your checking account immediately. So wanted to make sure you're aware of that one. And then the next one below that is where to send the funds. I probably should go back and update our slides to make sure that the business name, account number, and routing number is something for your accounts that you include, if I did not. So I'll update on those on the slides before I post them to our website. And then you'll come down here and make sure you click I certify under penalty of law. And then this will click for the next. Again, make sure you've checked all those boxes, specifically this one right here, before you click next. Once you click next, you're going to get a summary. So this was one for an entity that we did. And what I'm recommending all of my clients to do is print this page as a PDF and save it to that folder, because you want to make sure that you know the information that you've put in there. And so when they start calling and asking questions, you know what they're referring to, and you can break out this document and know and go from there. Then at the bottom of the page, it will have a checkbox that says, I'm not a robot, and then you'll click submit over here. Once you click submit, you'll be taken to this page, and I've, just for, I would say privacy purposes, we've blanked out the application number here. So what I, again, am recommending to our clients is save this page as a PDF, or print it as a PDF, or just print it out if you can't do either one of those, and put it in the folder, because this application number is the number that you're going to need to be referencing going forward when you talk to the SBA and the different programs for that. So want to make a quick disclaimer that, as we talked about and you've seen with our videos on the SBA PPP plan, the programs may and will change without notice. Like I said, with the PPP, that application came and changed about 9 hours before the program went live. So everybody was scrambling to get that to their clients. So they're trying to figure out as fast as we're trying to get the information. So again, plan, prepare, and then take action. And again, if you haven't done, if you haven't gone through and gotten those documents together that we stated on the first couple of slides, rewind the video, go back, make sure you really start to get those documents prepared and that information prepared, because you're gonna need it. In doing loans and working with clients on the financial side for many, many years, there's no way I think that the programs can substantiate or lend based off this limited information that's in this application. If it is, I would totally be shocked, and I'll be the first one to say it. But I think more questions are coming, so I really want you to be prepared and ready to go and be first in the queue when that happens. Thank you again for joining and for watching, and if you like this video along with the other ones we've provided, please click subscribe, and also make sure to check out our website for some of the documents. And if you'd like to get in our email program, you can email askus@thekimgroup.com. Thanks. Have a great day.